flying high in the fearless sky without leaving the ground. The rest of the folks are tired and weary and have laid their bodies down.
So let it be done.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Heritage Hip-Hop Podcast. We have been away for a little bit. You know, the Heritage Hip-Hop Awards have just ended. Shout out to everyone who won one of the awards from the Heritage Hip-Hop Awards. We had the One Mic Award, which was the Quilla of Grindheart Entertainment. No, I'm sorry, that's the Govmatic Award. The One Mic Award went to Kendrick Lamar. We have the Group Project of the Year, which was a tie between Knots and the Opioid Era and the Cornerstones, straight up the group from New Jersey. The Solo Project of the Year went to Mikey Moolah. So shout out to them. And we want to give a shout out to SheRealTalk.com, our sponsor, She Real, and her new album, I Don't Rap About My Pussy, out right now, which is one of the best albums you can get right now. Today, though, we have a compilation that comes to Heritage Hip Hop to show and prove and show us that hip hop is not a unified thing within self, but it's unified within the community. We were always taught that strength comes from 5 fingers that ball themselves into a hand, which is the sign of Black power. But the most powerful thing about the hand is not the blow that it strikes, but the tension created. That means you cannot penetrate its purpose. And today's purpose is all about bringing real hip-hop and real conversation to you through the Heritage Hip-Hop Podcast. So make sure you like, subscribe, share, and bring people to the table because this is going to be a good conversation. I have 3 guests that's going to pop up on the screen. There's one is my brother. This is my man all the way from Dallas, Texas. This is my guy, yo. And you've seen him on here before, but this time he's brought some friends from around the world, and we're going to get into it. So without further ado, first, let's bring up my man, DJ Kawon. What's good, bro?
Karev, what's good, my brother? Good to see you, man. Thanks for having me, bro. This is an honor and a privilege.
I feel the same way. But let's not leave the other guests out. We went from Dallas. Now we're going to hop a plane because hip-hop does not only rest in the United States. And some people may think of hip-hop for Drake in Canada, right? But Canada has some great talent up there that you should know as well. And we want to introduce you to Mr. Len-Dor. What's going on, fam?
What's up, champ? How you doing? Pleasure to be here, man.
Oh, I appreciate the love. Thank you very much. Because this man over here is a wordsmith, and he takes his time to put his bars together. So we're actually going to talk to him about not only bars but marksmanship. Because it means nothing if you fire a gun and you don't hit the shot. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
And then we have another individual that's coming to the conversation that brings not only bars but perspective of the metaphysical and also chakra frequency. This man comes from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, home of them Bucks. All right. It ain't just cool Cal. It's Rock King as well. What's going on, fam?
Salute. Appreciate you having me on.
All right, so let's get into the conversation because hip hop is a living thing. Everybody talks about hip hop as if it's a music only, or now people want to call it a culture, but they don't even know what culture is. So from Rock King, from you first, how do you define hip hop and what does it mean to you?
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, hip hop is just like, to me, it's a form of expression. You know what I'm saying? I feel like when you truly hip hop, you allow a person or, that listener to be able to get to know you. So it's definitely culture as well, too. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I would say I view hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Letting somebody into your personal story and telling them more about yourself and what you represent.
All right, that's peace. So, Mr. Len-Dor, what about you? What is hip hop and how do you define it and what does it mean to you?
Honestly, man, hip hop for me, it's everything, man. It's a discipline. You know, I mean, I take it mad seriously. It's also for me, it's a camaraderie too, right? If you find like-minded people within the same realm of what you do, you could form a lot of great bonds with hip hop, man. Like our coalition right now with me and Quan, my boy Raw. Hip hop to me is the ultimate expression. If you know how to articulate yourself, put your words together correctly, you could touch so many lives, man. It's a beacon, bro. I love it.
All right, K1. Now, these are the MCs, and their definition of hip hop comes from expression, camaraderie, and brotherhood. As the person who makes beats, DJs, a person whose ear is more eclectic to the culmination of sound. Mm-hmm. What is hip hop to you, and what does it mean to you? How do you define it?
Oh man, hip hop to me is it's communication, right? It's communicating, it's telling a story in a way that for those who know what they're hearing can latch on to it right away, right? It comes from the ancestors, you know what I mean? It's something that we built. It's something that I continue to try to leave in a better place than I found it. That's always been one of my pillars in this thing. And as far as what it means to me, man, it means everything. Like you says, man, I try to represent hip hop in a classy way. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how it was brought to me, was in a classy way. So I try to keep it as classy, try to be as organic with it as I can, man. And if it doesn't feel that way, and it's something that's just not in my realm, you know what I mean?
What all of you had described is perfect because it describes life. Organic organisms, things like that, right? Brotherhood, camaraderie, expression. But when hip hop was birthed, hip hop was the middle finger to the culture and became a counterculture of inner city people telling the world that we exist and our demands are God-fed, not man-made. Now that hip hop is the defining culture, does hip hop need a counterculture to keep it in check? Or is the world doing fine with hip hop leading the way, not reflecting the world that we're living in today? Let's start from K1.
Ooh, that's a good one. So to kind of address that piece, I think it is countering because we're literally watching the corporation version of hip hop crumble around us, right? The walls are falling in, whether it be scandals or just how the record labels are cannibalizing themselves, and then you have artists who are kind of waking up as far as, that's probably not the best way to go, is to go that route as far as putting your art out there. So I'm seeing the underground kind of reestablish itself and kind of get away from that commercialism of it and just kind of be more free. This conversation that we're having with all of us is a prime example of that. This is us counterculture and everything that's been going on and just kind of doing things the way we want to do it, which is, to me, very hip hop. You know what I mean? Just kind of using the resources that you have and then capitalizing on it in a positive way.
Lynn, you want to pick it up?
I agree with Kawon, man. I think right now more than ever, our type of music is needed because of the last 10 years of absolute decay of hip hop, where it went to a certain direction where there was no purpose. And I think what we do gives it purpose on the things that we speak about, what we talk about, how do we collaborate on songs, and first and foremost, establishing that this art comes from the soul. It's an authentic thing, nothing else.
All right, Ra, how you feel?
I mean, to me, I feel like it do need an adjustment just for the simple fact when you think about all the poisons that's being put out here to some of the youth ears, you know what I'm saying? It could lead them to go commit a crime. So I need, the more conscious version of hip hop so we can educate, be able to teach people, the righteous way of doing things.
Righteousness.
Mm-hmm.
Righteousness is only defined by two things: experience and the outcome of experience. I always say life is a classroom without walls. That experience is always going to be the leading mechanism to how you define your path and journey in life. Kawon, you answered this already. Let me ask Ra first and then Mr. Len-Dor after. I always call you Mr. because your name just bugs me out. It's cerebral. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to go with Ra and I'm going to go with Len-Dor. So we talk about the classroom without walls, right? What is the experience hip-hop gave you to make you realize you were hip-hop and you're in this thing, no question?
That's a great question. The confidence, man. I would say it definitely gave me the confidence, and hip hop can be competitive too, depending on your peers or the people you around. So it definitely gave me the confidence, the love for the sport, the dedication, discipline. I mean, things, man. You truly take a look at what hip hop does. I feel like it actually grows you. So it's done so much for me personally.
Okay, Lynn, take it up.
Hip hop gave me a lot more discipline, though. You know what I mean? When you have to sit down and really be patient with yourself and craft ideas, I think hip hop gave me that level of discipline and commitment and follow through and doing what is right when it comes to this art form. I think a lot of people take those things for granted. As time has progressed over a period of time with hip hop, we went from being proud in sounding unique and coming up with the most authentic ways of saying things to now where everyone basically sounds the same. So for me, I take my pride in being disciplined in my own craft and finding ways to develop my own style and perspective. Hip hop for me, it's an immense creative thing. There are a lot of things I've learned in hip hop. I've learned to do my own visuals with hip hop. I've learned to basically write my own stories, get better at my penmanship. Like, it gave me quite a few things that I use in my real life.
You know the thing about hip hop has saved more minds than the school system.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I love is when I can hear a person give me a bar that makes me sit down. There's two rappers I want to quote right now that I specialize in heritage hip hop being the home of your future favorite artists, bringing them to you today because one of these artists you will know maybe, another one you might know. And the one artist that you should know is, I'll go with the one that you might not know. His name is CF. Shout out to CF from Jersey City. That's my man, Constant Flow. And he said in one song, we buy things that we don't need with money that we don't have to impress people that we don't like. And that's life. That makes you go, you know what? That's real.
That's real.
And then Ransom said on his rhyme, you're born looking like your parents, but you're going to die looking like your life decisions. And I had to sit down and go, God damn.
And Ransom is lethal, bro.
Yeah. And the thing about that is hip hop can give you a moment in which not only do you have to mature your perspective off of what somebody said, it could also raise your consciousness to make you a new person looking at life through your ears, not through your eyes. Kawon, what made you sit down or refocus when it came to your calling in hip hop?
Man, so I always tell people my musical maturity happened late 80s, early 90s. I was introduced to X-Clan and Public Enemy. It was something about the voice and the pride and what they were saying. It made me curious because I was like, oh wow, what are they talking about? You know what I mean? Like, because I've some of the stuff that Chuck and they was talking about, I didn't know about it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really know about it, so it made me want to go read up about it. You know what I'm saying? Go to the library and write these names down that they were throwing out there. You know, Nat Turner and and those type of guys, and it was really interesting to me. So it was hand in hand, like you said. I was learning about these prominent black figures I should know about that I wasn't learning in school, and so it kind of made me being more drawn to the lyrical MCs when it comes to hip hop. Like I liked Slick Rick, I liked Rum DMC. They were cool, they were fun, but it was something about listening to Rakim, something about listening to KRS, something about listening to X Clan. You know what I mean? Ice Cube in his early after he left NWA when he got with the Shock Squad, Hank Shockley and all of those guys. Those that's when I was like, say I got my musical maturity with hip hop, is it taught me so much. You know what I mean? And then leading into like Tupac's early work before his death row days, where he was dropping a lot of jewels on stuff and talking about Latasha Harlins, getting killed out there, and the riots and all of that. So, it was just our news broadcasting system that we just don't hear every day. You know what I mean? That we're not afraid. They weren't afraid to put out there, and there wasn't any censorship. So that's what I loved about it the most, man.
Well, pick it up.
Oh man, for me, my very first taste with hip hop came from listening to a brother called Skee-Lo. I wish I was a little bit taller. And I was going to church when I first heard that record. And with that, I had a neighbor started introducing me to like Reasonable Doubt. And then I went on to start listening to guys like Daz Effects, the Lost Boys, and these cats or whatever. I think the most unique artist to me that really knocked on my head and say, yo, bro, you need to start like really looking into this rhyming thing. The group was the Bush Babies. Okay. I think the Bush Babies was impactful to me because of the blend that they had. They had the dancehall touch to it, and then they had the two other guys from Flatbush, which was pretty dope. So for me, the Bush Babies gave you everything. They gave you love. They gave you street shit. They gave you deep shit. Like their whole entire project is a must play on my shit.
Raw, pick it up.
So for me, man, like it was so many that inspired. I guess the one that, like, you know what I'm saying, the artist that actually made me think and to actually understand and know what hip hop is, I have to say Nas. Like, my first time hearing him, his message, poetic, and the way he just was as an artist, you know what I'm saying? He had that responsibility, you could just tell, of hip hop. You know what I'm saying, it's other elements of hip hop that we talked about too, such as gangster rap, other things that come with it. But like, he made me look at it and like, okay, this is the way it should be done. You know what I'm saying? This is the way that I can actually grow as far as myself as well as being able to inspire and help others grow too.
I love that. So now, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not aware of what Heritage Hip Hop does, we listen very intently to our guests, and then we pull something out that they say to really broaden this conversation. That's called the Let's Build portion of this conversation. If you like what we're doing, like, share, comment, leave some comments. We want to know what y'all think. Share this. Donate, Cash App us, $ Heritage Hip Hop, because your money makes sure that they get money and that we could build this platform that much more. And this is where the money comes in right here. Lyricism seems to be something that all these men say. And it seems like in the world today where people can say anything and get away with any type of words, that the importance of being heard and understood seems to be lost. Now, DJ Kawon makes the beats, but he chose to work with two lyrical individuals to make something special. Kawon, what did you hear in each one of the artists that are on the line with us on this interview?
Man, so Len-Dor was I worked with him first. When I got back into doing the beats and everything, I was kind of messing around, just getting some ideas, and I think I posted a beat online, and he kind of reached out. I was like, yo, what are you doing with that? And it was a very hip hop beat, right, Len-Dor? So it ended up becoming a joint off of the compilation we dropped in January, the Heat Tape. Me and my brother Condu, we did like a producer's project where he did half the beats, I did half the beats, and Len-Dor did this joint with Rob G. Shout out to Rob G. And it was called Hip-Hop Mission. So after he killed that joint, I was just like, man, this is dope. And I was familiar with Len-Dor's catalog prior to that because I had him on my show and interviewed him based off his previous works, and I was a fan of his music instantly. So we kind of threw the idea around about working together on the project. And I'm no lie, man, I was just kind of like a little intimidated because I was like, yo, Len-Dor, you got a pretty solid catalog, bro. So I don't want to come in here and mess up, you know, your legacy that you're building for yourself. And you know, after I got over that, after I threw him a couple beats, and he kind of was like, yeah, this is it right here. And that became a beacon in the dark. And you know, I just love working with my brother because his thought process, the way his method of recording. We talk about what I talk. He asked me what I heard when I made something, then he'll kind of tell me what he heard, and we'll meet in the middle somewhere. But I leave all of the lyrical stuff to the MC. You know what I'm saying? I'm just there to help give him the canvas to paint on. So that's when Beacon of the Dark happened, and then in the same tail end of that, me and Ross started working on the Healing Tape. And when I first heard a joint Rob recorded for me, I knew, like, yeah, I got to keep this brother close. You know what I'm saying? He's special. You know what I'm saying? He's real special. And same thing, dope work ethic. You know what I'm saying? Very open for ideas. A lot of collaborative, open-minded about stuff, man. And we knocked that Healing Tape recording wise out within 3 weeks. And it's quality. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a rushed microwave process. Everything's always been quality. Everything's been organic. And then you know, and I put my Avengers team together for this project. We're working to close the year out, man. And these are two brothers that I think that I can work closely with to the end of time, just because I love the work process. I love building with them, and I just love being around their energy. You know what I'm saying? It's just been a breath of fresh air to work with these two brothers.
So correct me if I'm wrong. Len-Dor is the strength of. Oh, let me put this the right way because I want to just talk. Len-Dor is the strength of believability, and Requiem is the mental assurance to be believed.
Yes, I can agree with that. Yes.
Okay.
I can co-sign that. Yeah.
Okay. So, Len, what did you hear K7's beats that turns you into a savage?
Well, buddy. Well, first begin with I'm a big fan of abstract music, right? So I like shit that sounds strange or doesn't sound as the norm. The thing with Kawon is that when he dropped Hip Hop Madness, the video first time I heard it, it took me all the way back to high school. So when I heard it, and I was kind of like, you know, when you sit down, you're kind of muttering to yourself, you know, the chorus, whatever it is. And when I found out I had a chorus for it, I said, you know, bro, let me get that. And when we did the first joint, my boy Rob G, he gladly jumped on it. Instantly, I said, well, okay, do you have any more beats? Let me hear any more of your shit. And then I think the other one was Past Life.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Past Life came about, I was like, you know, bro, let's do a whole record. Let's do a whole entire record. Sometimes it's just the vibe too. You know what I mean? You meet another artist who takes pride in what they do. You feed off of that, and it just comes together. You know what I mean? And for me, I take pride in what I do. You know, when I put out something or I write something, I take pride in doing that. I don't want to put out anything that's, when I look at it online, I'm gonna be like, fuck.
Yeah.
Why did I do that? You know what I mean? Like, so that's, Kawon has a bit of integrity in his stuff. And it's also strange as shit. That's why I love it. So it just came together.
Yeah, and I don't want to cut you off real quick, Karab, but we everything I do is from scratch. I don't have a folder of beats I just send out to people. Like literally, if I agree to do work with somebody, we build from the ground up and from scratch. We have an idea of overall what we want it to sound, and we'll start building from there. So I think that process helps me out a lot too, just because I just don't want to be sitting around and just making beats just to have them sit in the folder somewhere, hoping somebody would get it. I'd rather just build organically and build everything from scratch, meant for that moment in time. You know what I mean?
That's right.
No, that's fine. That's what makes hip hop. You know what I'm saying? It's the only genre of music that actually is alive and not just microwave. So let's take it to Ra. What did you hear in Kawon's beats that made you want to bring the inner man out into the solar system with your rhymes?
It was just so unique, and then it seemed like, you know what I'm saying, he didn't necessarily just have one particular sound. You that's what I've been finding out since I've been working with him. Being honest, I done worked with, a few producers, you feel me? And he's been my favorite producer to work with. Like, so his production is incredible to me. So it's just been a dope time working with him. I feel like he very dope at what it is he do. And I feel like he actually like by us working together, I actually grew as an MC as well too.
Yeah,
bro.
that's another thing too. The thing with Quan too, with his beats, and I work with a lot of producers from Bofat, Prologic, all types of different dudes I've worked with. One thing with Quan that he has that a lot of other producers don't do is that he listens to the artist. So there's some producers, what they do, they make a beat and they'll throw it at you and they expect you to react to it. Not Quan. Quan will listen to your shit and be like, okay, this is his style. And then if he sends something to you, he'll be like, okay, all right, I can tell him, listen, take this out and bring this together here. And you're like, okay, cool. And he gets it. So that's one of the beauty of this whole relationship is that I could tell him exactly what I hear and he could bring it to fruition. A lot of other producers don't do that. They'll just throw shit at you. And then when you reject what they have, they'll be like, oh, well, that's how it is, bro. I'm like, okay, then well, it's gonna stay there then. You know what I mean? Like, it's just gonna stay there. So, but that's what Quan has. Quan has that air of understanding that, you know what? This is Len-Dor's style and this is Ra's style. This is his other person's style. So he gets that. And I find that's a quality that a lot of producers now of this age don't have.
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing that makes hip hop right now such a bastard of music right now.
Yeah.
Because because if you think about it, Kawon, you have the hardest job out of everyone here.
Mm-hmm.
But you have also the most intricate job. See, the gentleman that's on, I don't know, the right or left of the screen, no matter how your screen comes out, everybody in the viewership world, it's a man over there with a yellow sweatshirt on, right? He has a slow-paced flow that's powerful on the punch.
Mm-hmm.
Not the punch line, the punch.
Yeah.
So there's a delivery there. If you look up the word Len means sluggard, like lazy. And then a door is the sound of a beetle that it makes when it goes to rescue its young. Think about this. The man has a slow flow that's trying to rescue your mind from corny hip hop. And Kawon has to match that voice to the voice of another individual on the other side of the screen he has a certain swag to his voice that's very tempered yet preachy at the same time. See, if you understand the term Ra King, Ra is the sun and King is a title given by God, understood by the greed and ego of man. So that makes him a Superman if you think about it, because the sun king was the man who gets fueled by the essence of radiation, which is God energy. So if you have a determined strong punch with God energy, there's a certain type of ear that has to come together to get these people on different sides of the country or the world to mesh. We're talking about different microphones. We're talking about mixing. How did you find the perfect blend to have them both sound as a collective and not as two individuals that are rhyming together?
Yeah, and then we also talking about two different hip hop generations too, because Ra's a little bit younger than us, so I understand who he studied. But like you said, I gotta for this particular project, I have to meet them in the middle for both their styles. So, I know the little magic. I kind of know Len-Dor's where he's gonna, like you say, punch you at on certain parts of a track. So I like to do the slow build-ups for that, so he can basically eat until it gets to that point, right? So I know Len-Dor's pockets just by studying his music in the past and then working with him. So, and Ra, I kind of have to slow him down sometimes. You know what I mean? And I'll make the suggestions, and I know Ra's the type of person, if he hears a beat, he's ready to rap. So he's ready to go. You know what I'm saying? So I have to, and I'm telling my secret here with Ra, I have to kind of build in a pause moment for him to kind of get himself ready to kind of lead into the track. And that's where they meet in the middle. You take that slow flow, you take Ra's, aggressive style, and you meet him in the middle somewhere. So I kind of gotta, within those two verses, I have to put those elements in both those verses because I don't know who's going to jump on what first. You know what I mean, for this project. So, and it just worked out, man. I think we were this is so organic to where in the short. So the first single we dropped, No Limits. That was a track that was going to be off of a project me and Rob was working on initially. And so I was like, yeah, we should see if Len-Dor want to be featured on this joint. You know what I'm saying? I think it'd be a nice little feature because I work with both of you guys. I think he'll be dope to start, politicking with, networking with. So Len-Dor jumped on it. We heard it, and we kind of all took a pause and was like, yo, this shit sounds pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what else we got in the stash. So that's when I kind of took another beat from the Raw project, and it was like, Len-Dor, what you think of this? And he heard it, was like, I'm on that too. And then we just said, let's just put this project me and Raw working on to the side. I know Len-Dor has just finished up his EP, so it was perfect for him to kind of jump in, and we just put something together, man. We said, let's put out a little EP and let's think of a sound and go from there, man. So it's just been, I think a lot of it is, for me, Krev, is just studying their work and understanding who they are as artists and where they like to come in and make a point when they rhyme. And I think it works out for some reason. It just works out. That's God, man. That's God, and that's Uncle Frankie from above who's still guiding me when it comes to these beats. You know what I mean? It just works. I can't explain no other way. It's when I'm in the zone with these brothers, man, I just work. I don't think too hard about it. I know when it feels right, and I stop. And I don't try to do too much with it, because the voice is a part of the song too, right? So I got to leave a pocket for them. I can't overdo it production wise. So I got to keep it to where they can do their thing and use their voice, their instrument, to lay on top of the other instruments that I laid for them.
Hey, everybody, if they're watching, did you like the Let's Build section? We talked about lyrics, what you hear, and how it translates into music. We'll be back after this commercial break. And in dedication to my man Ra, you a king, right? I got 3 kings for you to check out, and here they go.
Where you get your hip hop from? Yeah. What's up? This Tribal Trigger Trench in the building. You already know. Nip, naughty.
Hey, Redman is in the building, of course. Jersey's finest, all about them bars, marijuana smoker. Hey, PSA announcement. I need everybody go support. That's right, support my fucking state, my city. Heritage Hip-Hop, a New Jersey media source that celebrates New Jersey hip-hop worldwide. Facts. Please subscribe to Heritage Hip-Hop on social media. That is Heritage Hip-Hop on social media.
What up, y'all, man? It's your boy Do It All, Pray Kelly, right here on Heritage Hip Hop, man. Look, man, let me tell you something. Make sure you support Heritage Hip Hop, because without these brothers bringing you hip hop, we're not gonna stay informed, man, the way that we need to stay informed, man. And they're not just giving you hip hop, man. They're giving you the heritage of hip hop right here, man. Yo, Karev, I see you. Heritage Hip Hop, man. Let's do it. It ain't nothing like Heritage Hip Hop.
I jam to my own shit.
That's dope, brother.
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast with DJ Kawon, Len-Dor, and Ra King. We talked about the importance of, being hip hop and how hip hop influenced you. Now we have to get into the product, because ain't nothing like good product, because it makes you fiend and come back for more. Kawon, I want you to sit back on this one a little bit. I want to talk to the MCs real quick, because they have, before they work with you, they had to impress you with certain work, and they had work that they did with you. And I want to start with Len-Dor first, because part of what I see, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, part of what I see is hip hop for you is an escape into a world where you could build, not just have to deal with the pressure of being alive. Am I correct?
Yeah, it is. It is because of the fact that, we all are adults here, right? And sometimes you have a real hectic days or hectic time in your life. Like for me, I'm a married guy, you know what I mean? And there are things that affect me in my life, or I have to deal with in my life, that I try to articulate in my pen or put it in perspective for my listeners, right? I think for me, I take pride in delivering life lessons in a form where people could see it as as a striking resemblance of what they go through, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? Like a lot of my records, I talk about my personal experiences, you know, me playing ball, a lot of the issues I went through with myself, even some things you may not even want to say out loud, I try to articulate in my bars and my rhymes.
Okay. So one of my favorite songs that you created was Past Life. And you have another, what's the other MC on there with you?
Prologic, that's my boy. He's a Canadian legend here. Prologic, man, that's my guy, man. We have an album coming out soon too. The one thing, because see, it's easy to talk about how y'all bounce the track of each other, because that hook is crazy. You know, your past life, and one person, you know, see Christ died twice, whatever, and another person about they slayed Satan and etc. And that wordplay alone is going to get somebody to think. But there's a setup that you use in that song that's very meticulous. I want you to talk about how you set people up for the hook based off of the beginning of the rhyme, not the middle. Talk about it. So,
yeah, go to that verse. Yeah.
Well, so in my past life, I lived twice, fell short, met Christ. In my past life, I lost it. Slow days and frostbite. So basically, with that track, right, when Quan gave me that beat, I remember one time I was in my car with my wife, and it was winter time that time. And the idea for that track was, I think my wife and I were speaking about our history, what I had to deal with growing up. Because I don't know if you know, but I used to play professional football. And then it ended for me in 2016 because of health issues. Right. So I had to give up on that dream for a bit. And for a moment in time in my life, I was really lost. Right. So that song, I took the opportunity to write about using Canada's weather metaphorically into some of the tough times I've been through in my life mentally, though. You know what I mean? Me growing up, I mean, my mom was a teacher, and I wasn't brought up all the way up in the streets, but I had family who kind of encouraged me and shit like that. And I'm looking at all the leaps and bounds I had gone through, and me going through it, that health issue, and having to walk away from close to $500,000 contract with the Buffalo Bills, potentially that could throw anyone in a pocket. So for me, writing about that song is basically highlighting what I've seen, what I've been through, what I've heard, and where I'm heading. That's what that song. And then the chorus was me trying to put that spiritual aspect of God into it. In my past life, I lived twice, fell short, and met Christ. So I'm letting you know, listen, I've been through all these leaps and bounds. And even though I fell short at that lowest point in my life, I met Christ. And my boy Prologic now, when I sent him the chorus, who's an absolutely amazing artist and producer as well, he somehow fed into it. And him himself has a lot of trials and tribulations as well. So it just fit together like a glove, and that was it. And so he just fed off the chorus and made it a beautiful thing.
No fake memes, no fake love, no fake buzz. The dream team. Talk to me.
You know what I mean? So that track for me all fed off of what Quan did. When I heard that beat, it was completely opposite of what I was used to. And I tried to go for beats like that challenged me, right? So it had a bit of a trap element to it, but it also had that eerie heartbreak type of sample to it. So it spoke to me. So I just jumped on it instantly, and I put my heart out, you know? And I even spoke about like some friends who I grew up with right now, back home in my country in Trinidad, who can't walk. They got shot up. They can't go nowhere. You know what I mean? Every time I go back home to visit them, I can hardly see them because they're either in jail or they're out of jail. So there's parts of where I say, you know, some where I talk about like some end up in the pulpit. Some of them become preachers and stuff like that. It's true. A lot of them, they change their life, and all of a sudden they serve God now. So that's what that song means to me, man. It's just one of those deep songs like that.
But isn't life and being an MC, being able to take the duality of life and painting a picture with it?
Yeah, and especially if you can articulate it well in a way where people could see the both mirrors, that's what makes a dope track. I think that's one of the arts that have been lost at this present time in the art form of hip hop, where people could write and give you a dual vision of like hearing the word of the layout, but then, oh, that's what he means. And like one of my favorite battle artists will always tell you, conceited, slow it down. I just dissed you. Like if you, that's what he does. He gives you the duality of everything. He gives you, it sounds this way, but this is what metaphorically what I mean. And that's how I try to write when it comes to my music.
Yeah, it's like the cover of Immaculate Reception.
Yes, sir.
You have the man in the white touching the man that's in the brown, but it's the same man. But the vision of who he is is determined by the eyes and how you see them.
Yes, sir.
And that's life, you know what I'm saying? And Ra, my man Ra King, like you are different to me because you remind me more of the anime comic book side of life. And the reason why I say that is because expression sometimes has to take you on a journey so you can see it, not just hear it. You remind me of one of my favorite comic book characters. I told this to a young lady because she does the same thing that you do. And it's the way you put words so that a person can see what's coming, but they have to listen to understand what they're looking at. One of my favorite, you ever heard of Wise Son?
Wise Son.
Wise Son.
Sound familiar.
So,
sound familiar.
So the background story of Wise Son was there was two gangs that was going to fight, right? And it was Crime Syndicate and Blood something, right? And what happened was that day when they was going to have a fight, a big gang war, the government dropped chemicals in the city, and the chemicals gave those two gangs power. The two gangs came together and formed a crime fighting team called the Blood Syndicate. That's Milestone comic books. And the leader of the Blood Syndicate was a 5%er who had powers like, well, that's where Bishop came from, his foil, where he would give him pressure, but he'll give you back hell because whatever you was able to give him, he could give you that tenfold.
Yeah.
That's the gift of an MC because you could give an MC pressure and pain, yet they could give you a world that's beautifully birthed out of the pain and give you hope. What is the thing that fuels your hope that makes you want to save the world through your rhymes?
Man, honestly, too, that's a great question. Honestly, I think it's me being competitive too. At the same time, like I really want to be the best at what it is that I do. And as far as like when it pertains to like saving, I feel like the only way I can do that is by saving myself. So I know like when I get to writing, I have to tell my story. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what I'm saying, if I'm not speaking from my perspective, what are you doing? So I tell my story as organic as I can. And by putting my experiences in my story, I feel like, those are situations that other people would be able to relate to and be able to grow from.
Hip hop is in a very interesting state nowadays because for the first time ever in hip hop, we're now seeing scandal hit hip hop's name, not the culture, but the name of hip hop is being so muddy that now it seems like we're giving people the ammunition to attack us now. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't understand what I mean, let me put it like this. Mainstream versus underground has always been something we've battled because the underground represented the people and the mainstream represented the dollar. When the dollar started manipulating the people, then the culture, which doesn't change, got affected. Yet the vultures came in, and then we start having what is called bullshit on the radio and in people's ears. Hey, Rob, I want to ask you a question because we're living vessels of hip-hop culture, right? The term culture vulture always pissed me off because vultures only eat dead meat. And if hip-hop is alive, that's a misnomer because it says that everything we're doing goes for nothing. I want to ask you this. As a person who makes music to bring the chakra level up of understanding, why do you always focus on the eye and not the eyes that see the world?
That's a great question. Well, because it's purpose, man. I feel like, you know what I'm saying, I'm obviously here to do a specific purpose. And, like, I just talk about what's on my heart. You know what I'm saying? come from a feeling that I may be feeling just through going through life, or other times where it could production sparks that. But when I'm there, I go there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so I want to say this. I keep it blunt. The devil feeds you lies. The corner store sell you junk. I got mojo back, disciplined mind, shining through positive thought. Does hip hop save the mind, or is the mind saving hip hop from the vulture?
That's tough. I feel like the mind is saving hip hop from the vulture. I would say
Explain.
For the simple fact of because there's certain people here I feel like they're chosen. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe in coincidence. So certain people are here to do specific things. Once you awaken into that state of what you here to do, you know what I'm saying? You follow through with that. That's how you're able to save somebody. You know what I'm saying? Once you recognize it, you walk into your purpose. I feel like that's how you go into saving somebody through what your purpose is.
K7, let's talk about No Limits, because part of what makes that song so interesting. There's only 3 limitations a man puts on himself: his mind, his wallet, and his expectation.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to break when it comes to the limitations the world puts on you, not only as a man of color, but as a representative of hip hop sound and integrity?
What limit do I want to break as far as that? Man, Crib, I sit in a weird position when it comes to hip hop, right? Like, and the brothers will tell you this. I tell this all the time. I'm a 9-to-5er, right? So I do, I work, and I do pretty good on my 9-to-5. So when I'm into this hip hop thing, I feel like it's my place to. I've been through a lot dealing with the music and the business piece of it. So I don't want these brothers to bump their head like I had to do when I was out here chasing the dream. You know what I'm saying? So I think I consider myself the cheat code for these brothers to help get them through a lot of the stuff that they want to do. Like me and Rob had conversations on his goals, what he wants to do with his career. Me and Len-Dor have had these discussions. So I figured I was put here to help those brothers. So I think my limitation would be that I'm trying to break, man, is just to come at this from a different angle where I'm not an industry dude, you know what I'm saying? So, and I know that people kind of look at me weird. Like for instance, when I try to work with artists, I always got my hands out, you know what I'm saying? There's no hand behind my back. I'm not slighting other fit, nothing like that. It's like, hey man, I love what you do. Let's do work. Anything you need from me, you got it. You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. So in a weird way, it puts me in a weird position because people always think I'm coming with an angle. You know what I mean? Because they're not used to that, because this industry is based off of thievery and stealing from people. So when I'm giving my genuine, people kind of look at me sideways when I'm like, nah, it's the genuine article. So man, if I think we're working with these brothers, and I can feel the expectations of what we all can do together. I think when other people see what my platform can do for brothers like this, it'll open up a lot of doors that I can go pick some more locks for these type of brothers and keep this thing going, man, and just basically just create a safe space for a lot of these artists who really who want to do this, you know what I'm saying, and have a genuine heart with it, because that's who get hurt the most, is the people who got the genuine heart and they get taken advantage of. So that's I would think that would be my limitation, to be honest with you, is the fact that with me coming the way I come into the industry, people kind of look at me weird because it's like, you ain't got no game plan, or you're not coming left with it. So
Yeah, I can feel that, because when you do something raw from the heart and from the spirit, people look at you like you're an alien. But I always ask this question: why are you people looking for loyalty in something that's not built on being loyal? That's weird.
Yeah. But those thoughts and feelings they're there for a reason, right? So you kind of got to knock them down pillar by pillar. You know what I'm saying? You gotta eat the elephant one bite at a time. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I just think working with brothers like this is definitely going to show that there are genuine people out there who want to do genuine things, and you can be successful at doing it too.
Mhm.
Got you on mute.
Everybody, we're gonna do something real fun right now. We're gonna let everybody stand on their square. They gotta talk their shit. They gotta sell this song. No Limits out right now on Bandcamp. Make sure you spend the money and support it, because if you don't, you're cheating yourself from good music. Don't be a dummy. Get your music. Because if you stream it, as soon as they drop that bomb on that internet, and you don't own it, you don't have the songs that you like. So make sure you support yourself and treat yourself and the artist by buying that music. K7, stand on your square, man. Go talk this shit. Tell them why they need this. Go ahead.
You need this joint because it's authentic, it's raw, it's not available on the streams. You know what I mean? So you want to come to us and you want to get this authentic No Limits joint. It's something that you've never heard before. Ra's in his bag, Len-Dor's in his bag, I'm in my bag. And this is just a light tap to what we got going on for the rest of the project, the Requiem. So if you enjoy this, this is just a little sample sizing of what we got going on and what we got coming for you guys. So trust me, if you're a person who supports music, you love to purchase music, then you are type of people. Come in and support us, man. You're definitely not going to be disappointed in this joint.
Len-Dor, go.
Hey, man. If you want real hip hop, authentic shit, real shit, no watered down shit, nothing sound like Justin Timberlake or Drake, cop this new single, bro. No Limits. You want conscious music, mind motivated music, cop this shit. The EP is dropping soon. Catch it everywhere. Get the shit on Bandcamp. It's fire.
All right, hey, Rod, go.
Listen, No Limits, you want to get No Limits strictly because it's truth. You know what I'm saying? It's music that's going to help you elevate, help you grow, help you think. You know what I'm saying? So you want to be on the train early. So No Limits is one of the first joints that we did. So go cop Limit. Say, hey, I had the first to get it when these dudes blow up.
All right. Hey, man, I like how I did that. Yo, we switched faces. We did all that. You know what I'm saying?
Free fly.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's dope. We got to do something different. We're going to be smooth like baby oil. So that's how we gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? We gonna have some fun. My man mouth still open. That's crazy. we gonna have some more fun with this, y'all. Make sure y'all, if y'all like what y'all see, make sure y'all subscribe to Heritage Hip Hop at heritagehiphop.com. It's Heritage Hip Hop on all social media and also streaming media. So this will be available if you're seeing it tonight, available on Spotify, Apple Music, etc., etc. But most importantly, the song of the week for this week is No Limits by Requiem, Len-Dor, and DJ Kawon off of their up-and-coming project, The Requiem. Am I got it correct? The Requiem? Which is coming very soon. But Kawon, you already know what's about to happen. Mm-hmm. Do you want to participate in this? Or you just want me to just slaughter these two lambs?
So cool. I'm gonna sit back and chill.
You gonna sit back? All right. Len-Dor and Requiem, welcome to Heritage Hip Hop's Rapid Fire Questions. Matter of fact, K7, I may need you for something.
All right.
Let's hold off on rapid fire questions. I'm gonna keep you there. Let's do impressions.
All right.
Impressions is I say a word, you tell me the first thing that comes to mind.
I like that.
All right. So we're gonna do Len-Dor, Ra, K7 all the time. We're gonna go in order. All right, ready?
Okay.
Here we go. The microphone.
Bars.
Hip hop.
Tool.
Drums.
Rhythm.
Sound.
Foundation.
The beat.
Tapestry.
Production.
It's the canvas.
Breakdancing in the Olympics.
Trash.
Wow.
Should have kept it on Red Bull.
Commercialism.
Hate it.
Gimmicks.
Cashing out.
The most important instrument in hip hop.
Voice.
I might have to say the voice too.
The heart.
Last question. What is more important? The spirit or the soul of hip hop?
Spirit, man. The spirit.
I'm gonna say the soul.
I say the soul. The soul.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, those were the impressions to give you further insight on who these gentlemen are. But now we're going to talk about the depth of their knowledge of hip hop and who they are as creators when it comes to the art and the culture of hip hop. Kawon, this is where you put your feet up and smile because it's time to let them go through the gauntlet. Gentlemen, Len first, Ra second. Here we go. What album or song from another artist perfectly describes you?
Oh, fuck. Ka, the thief next to Jesus.
Okay. Okay. That's very lyrical. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say King Disease by Nas. Part 3 though.
Okay. Shout out to you. What's the best hip hop beat ever made? Meaning, if it was your beat, it would have been your first single.
Quiet Storm, Mobb Deep.
Remix or original?
Original.
Thank you. Appreciate that one.
Yes, sir.
Oh, this is tough. this is tough. I'm gonna get it right though. I'm thinking of for me. Man,
is he tapping? Are you tapping out?
Tapping out. I'm just like,
Man,
I'm gonna say Illmatic, man.
What beat?
New York State of Mind.
Okay, true. Okay. There are certain MCs that capture your spirit, and we like in other genres, people make tribute albums. Hip hop started doing that recently. What's my man name from Detroit? Elzai made Illmatic. Sky Zoo made a tribute to Reasonable Doubt. If there was an album that you would like to tribute, what album would it be, and what song will encapsulate the process of you making that project?
Fuck. Souls of Mischief. 93 till Infinity. Can't remember the name of the album offhand, but that joint.
That's the name of the album, 93 to Infinity.
93 to Infinity, yeah.
That's all right.
Say before New York State of Mind, it was
okay.
Okay.
Illmatic. Okay.
So I'm a go All Right by Kendrick Lamar.
Are you gonna make To Pimp a Butterfly over?
Yeah.
And you're okay, that's dope. Okay. So my next question for you is this. Hip hop has talked about so much, but yet hip hop's voice is not heard everywhere. What do you think hip hop has not talked about that you would like to see in conversation?
I think health. Hip hop has we haven't really made much emphasis on speaking about health, eating right, staying in shape. In fact, there was one artist back in the day. I forgot his name. A guy used to be a guy with dreadlocks. I can't even remember his name. He's a martial artist too, but he had a music video that used to be on BT where he kind of like did martial arts with dreadlocks. I forgot his name, but he did one track.
That's Afu Ra.
Yes, he did one joint where he was speaking about how he took care of himself. And that always stayed with me though, because you never hear artists really, the most of those people, protect a mind, soul, and body, but no one actually gives you like the actual readout of how he does it and when they do it. You know what I mean? So I think he was very instrumental with that type of thing.
Yeah, I actually gotta agree with Len-Dor. I say the same. I say health more so. It's been a lot of topics I done seen artists get into, but it seemed like health. I haven't heard too many songs where people speaking on health, and I feel like health is very important. And I would agree.
Okay, I have a trick question for you because I brought this up based on one of our guests. Consciousness is one of the pillars of hip hop that is not spoken about enough. But when God comes into hip hop, people don't want to get conscious, they want to get religious. How do we preserve God and consciousness in hip hop, in your opinion?
Well, first to begin with, religion is a man-made thing. It's a tribal mindset, right? People have to understand, well, for me, there's a preacher I read his books and stuff like that, Dr. Miles Monroe. That's why when you said that quote, this cemetery is where it has all the riches, and what he always quoted about that. I think people need to understand that it's okay to speak about God in hip hop. I've done that. Religion is classification. Religion is basically a tribal mindset. You have this set believe in one form of doctrine. You have a different side believe in another form of doctrine. I think we need to specify more God principles in hip hop instead of focusing on what form of group he's a part of, or what denomination he's a part of. And I think that's the greatest division ever when it comes to the belief in God, is that we take that word religion and we have made it sort of like a tribal bastardism of what it's supposed to be, right? God is a way of life. It's not a group. It's not a clique. It's not a squad. It's principles of how you live according to the Most High. So that's the difference between religion and speaking about God. God is principles of how to live. Religion is a group thinking of much more of how should I put it, a very close-knit, more focused on what we represent than more than what we practice. That's what religion is.
Rob, pick it up.
So for me, I feel like the way that a person can conquer that is by being in tune with their culture, because 9 times out of 10 people not in tune with who they are. So the more you get in tune with your culture, I feel like you will have a sense of identity, because I feel like culture brings you into that element to where you know yourself. So to me, that's how you stop that madness.
Well, hey man, look, I love the questions so far. We got 3 more questions. How y'all like the questions so far? They're like,
loving it.
My man Face, he was like, oh. So let's give you a throwaway question before we get into the final 3. How did you like being on Heritage Hip Hop, or would you recommend us to any other artists that's coming up in the game?
Oh, it's my first time I fucks with it heavy. I love it. I love the fact that I've learned a lot from you in just this simple moment right now, and what you stand for. You don't hear much people who are saying they're actually disciples of the craft. Most people just want to rap, but to actually be a historian, it's 2 different things entirely. And you have really opened my eyes to a lot of things that I need to brush up on for sure.
I definitely recommend people for it. And I'm gonna say this: out of our interviews that we done so far, this has been my favorite one. And I feel like here, man, you do your homework. I
love this.
Tell you about the sport too of hip hop. So I would definitely recommend artists to come on here because it's organic and it's authentic.
Yeah.
Thank God. Thank you. Come on. I'm
gonna say, you already know, brother. This is.
Oh yeah.
I'm still trying to make my way up there so we can do a joint show. So it's gonna happen soon, brother.
I gotta make sure. I'll just let me know so I can prep that calendar. You know what I'm saying?
The brother Karev was gracious, fellas. A couple years ago, I did a mixtape show pop up. MJ helped put it together, and she helped get some guests to come out there, and we did like a live interview. Pop up, people just drop in and do an interview. We had like 4 hours, and Karev drove all the way from Jersey to New York, which is crazy. I know he probably paid about $100 in tolls to come through. And it was a dope moment, man. We had some dope pictures. Like a lot of dope artists came through, and I was like, we got to try to make this, if not a yearly, a bi annual type thing. And we're gonna do it again, bro. We're gonna do a pop up again real soon, and this time we can both collab, and I'll come out to your state and we can do it up there.
I want to come out to Texas as well. So that'd be dope. I need to branch out more. So let's do the last 3 questions, and let's send these artists off like kings, because the conversation is good, but the action to the words is even better. So I'm gonna ask y'all a question, rapid fire. Just tell me what y'all think. Does hip hop honor its dead, or does hip hop praise the coffin?
I think it does both. It's weird though, because it all comes down to the artist, right? It all comes down to their perspective of what they're talking about. So for instance, right, for instance, Kendrick. Kendrick right now is about preserving the culture. So he's talking about Biggie and Tupac and these other as legends, as if what they stood for is still alive. But then you have the flip side to it now, with the guys who glorify the murder, the shooting, the killing, the robbing, and all that stuff. So I think it's a double-edged sword right now.
Yeah, I would say it's both, but I would say more so I feel like they honor the coffin, just because and I ain't gonna talk about, like, when I say honor the coffin, I'm talking about more so a rap. I ain't gonna even say that with hip hop.
Okay, that's precious right there. I like that. I like how you put that together, because people still think rap and hip hop is the same thing. And ladies and gentlemen, it's not. You rap presents, hip hop is how you live. Stop it, okay? Absolutely. So let's be real with the next question. I asked you about what song, what represents you, but I want to get a little deeper so people can understand the technique of a writer or appreciator of hip hop that you are. What is your favorite album, and what is the album that changed your life? Okay. I'll give you mine. For example, for people who don't understand, my favorite album of all time is "It Takes the Nations of Millions to Hold Us Back" by Public Enemy.
Okay.
But the album that changed my life was Ice Cube's Death Certificate. So for you, what is your setup? K7, you can answer this after Ra too.
Okay.
I think the one album that basically changed my life. You ever heard of the artist called Odyssey? Odyssey? Yeah. Sorry, just saying Odyssey. He has an album. I forgot where it's a speaker on it. I forgot what it's called. Hold on. He has a album. I'll let you know this now. It fell in my lap recently when I was trying to write for I was writing for my album A Few Pages from the Dark Ages, and I was having problems kind of like getting over some writer's block. The Good Fight.
That's a good one, yeah.
Yeah, The Good Fight. And I've heard Odyssey for a while. I'm a huge fan of Mellow Music Group. But for some reason in that project, he got very introspective about himself as a man. Like there's a song that he did where he was speaking about life and how he interprets it at this point in time in his life as an artist, as a man with a family. And I think a lot of us men at this age, if you're still rapping about pistols, whips, and hoes, then something is wrong with you. And he was able to articulate that in that song. And that's what made me dive into more introspect writing, more deeper shit, putting things out there, putting your inner thoughts outside. Because not being afraid to talk about your fears, not being afraid to talk about what you see. That's what I love about Odyssey. That song, that album, The Good Fight, love that album.
Ron, pick it up.
I'm gonna say To Pimp a Butterfly. Like me, yeah, it was almost Good Kid, Mad City, but I just got to thinking about, to me, To Pimp a Butterfly was a little bit more conscious. So yeah, that album, really put me in the mind frame of studying and really just growing me, I feel like, as an artist, because it's one of those albums that make you think.
Okay.
K7, pick it up.
I would say the one that probably did a lot for me is Pac's Strictly for My Niggas. That was the album that did a lot for me on the on the conscious side, because it wasn't the heavy preachy as Public Enemy, as much as I love Public Enemy. And Pac that's when we kind of started seeing the celebrities living life out on TV around that time. So we saw a lot of his trials and tribulations on TV with the law and the court systems and stuff like that. So it definitely had me engaged on his music, just because he was speaking about that in the music, you know what I mean? So I would definitely say Strictly for My Niggas is the one that really had me locked in.
All right, that's P show. I'm learning a lot about y'all, and it kind of makes me want to go to the second to last question that I want to ask you. I usually, like, when I come up with interviews, I really have like a whole book full of questions, right? Then I learn about the artist and I kind of shave some down and get some other ones, and then I throw all of them away based on what y'all say. And y'all last answers made me throw everything away, actually. So I'm looking over here like, I can't ask that right now. That's trash. So I wanna stick to the theme of your favorite. And I want to ask you this question: what do you hate about hip hop, and how are you working to change it?
For me, I'm trying to be a little more strange, if that makes any sense. In other words, I'm trying to be a little more unique in my approach and how I write, the topics I write about, and even my beat choices and how I put things together. There's this recent, I forget, I'm talking to a guy who has the history down pat, but I'm a big fan of an artist called Mark Homme. Reason being because Mark Homme has, I don't know if people realize it though, but he has broke the levers on how to create things, and he's creating his own methods. If you're listening to how he uses his voice and his throwing his Haitian context in there, and then he's throwing the strange elements of beats. If you listen to his beats are absolutely obscure. I love them. And because of him, he has made me realize that, yeah, you don't have to just do a hook, a bar, hook, verse. No, you don't have to do that. Sometimes Mark Homme would just stand in his verse and go on a melodic drift and come back. And those are the things that make me get more engaged in an artist, when they're brave enough to say, okay, I could put it and say it this way and bring it back that way. Meanwhile, keeping the same topic, but the way how I'm putting it across to you, it's in my own way of doing things. That's why I love guys like Ka and Al Davino and these guys, Uncle John and these guys, Joseph Chilliams and these type of artists that people may not know about, but they are literally pushing the bracket for you to understand that, you know what, this is mine's. This is mine's. You can't put me in the bracket with someone else. This is mine's. This is me. This is how I sound. This is how I deliver my words. Another guy to throw in there is who I was fortunate to meet, Larry June. Same thing. You know what I mean? Like this, that's what I love. And I think Mark Homme encompasses that for me. He's that guy.
So with me, man, I would say I wish he was a little bit more simple as far as for the artist. You know what I'm saying? Come from perspective, because I feel like it's really harder for, you know, I'm not gonna say it's harder because we got social media, right? But it seems like it's more gimmicks to get it on, because, you know what I'm saying, the game is so, you know what I'm saying, it's tricky. It's politics. It's a whole bunch of stuff. So I hate that aspect. Of it. But how I'm changing it is just, you know what I'm saying, by being an artist, man, by doing what I'm doing, creating, you know what I'm saying, and you know, opening up doors through you know, the way I can with my platform.
Yeah, I would say for me, man, I hate that we can't put egos to the side and just work. You know what I mean? Like, we can't have these producers do these dope albums with these MCs. You know what I mean? Like, we've been talking about Premier and Nas doing an album for like 20 years now. You know what I mean? And it seems like they say it's going to happen now, but are we past the point? You know what I'm saying? Are we past that? So, but are we changing it, man? Is I think I've committed to that blueprint on the independent side. Is I didn't want to, you know, we joke about it. I don't want to chase placements as a producer. I just don't want to have a track or two on people's albums. Like, I want to be the placement. I want to be able to work with artists like Ra and Len-Dor and put out bodies of work, 2-3 times a year and build our catalogs together. And hopefully that'll be a blueprint that maybe influence a lot of people out there to kind of find their producer and work with them and just put out bodies of work instead of just having a bunch of names on the project. You know what I'm saying? And like Ross says, it makes things so much more simple. It makes the sound of the project more cohesive.
Yep.
And I haven't struck out yet, I don't think, this year. So I do, man. I'm not interested in just being everywhere. I just want to be at the right where,
I appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of an interview. And fellas, how'd you like it? It's been so fast, man.
Yeah, I love it. It was awesome.
This is dope, brother. We definitely got to come back
Very
again.
much fire. Love it.
Man, an hour and 15 minutes went by so fast. So for everybody out there, we thank y'all for watching this, but we have one more question. I said 3. Kawon doesn't have to answer this question. He already answered this question on his interview. So Len-Dor and Requiem, this is the most important question of the first interview. But before I ask it, hey Kawon, man, I had the Heritage Hip Hop Awards. Why didn't you give me Requiem to be submitted for the award show, bro?
I didn't pay attention to the submission process, but I tell you what, when's the cutoff? When's the cutoff?
The award show. So my year ends in August. Okay. So the cutoff is I listen to albums from August 1st to July 31st. So then when that month of August comes, well, I'm lying. It's September because August I take the month off to really get with my team and craft who's winning, how we do it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
All right.
His album came out in June, so he matched. July 31st was the cutoff.
Yeah, June, and then me and Len-Dor did March, right? Len-Dor.
Woo! That's 2.
How about this? We got the Requiem dropping soon.
So that would be considered for the group project of the year, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure y'all stay tuned to the Heritage Hip Hop Awards every August. Last Saturday of every August, we do the winners of the awards, but the nominees come out at the 6-month period and right before the final thing. Okay, to let y'all know. I want to let him know because there's quality music out in here that could have been there. You know what I'm saying?
Trust me, 25, you won't be disappointed, brother. 2025, you will not be disappointed.
Well, hey, y'all, he's putting his brick in. And I can tell y'all now, there's 2 albums that came out that's already looking like we got something going on. You know what I'm saying? And we want to and shout out to them. And let's close out this interview on a high note. Kawon, it's a pleasure to always talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for always giving me the chance to not only build with you, but even to hear great music that comes from your heart and soul. I appreciate you highly for that.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Gentlemen, as long as you make good music, you have an open seat here because that means we can have a conversation. If your music was trash, this would have been a hard one. I would have asked you about probably sea monkeys or something. It would have been trash. We would have been talking about baby oil and stuff. And IVs and all that, but we're not going to do that. Take that. But no disrespect. But I say that because this is the first interview. I have an open door policy. If I like your music, which I do like y'all music, y'all can always come back and bring your projects and we'll just re-up the conversation and show people even more of your depth of your knowledge and your personality so they can build with you and purchase the music, ladies and gentlemen.
How about we do this, brother? I don't know if you got it or not, but I can send you, after we get off, I'll send you a copy of the EP so you can get an early listen.
I'll write a blog on it. You just let me know when to release it. No doubt.
I got you.
All right, cool. So here we go. Here's the final question of the first interview, which means I call the questions always change, y'all. So y'all don't answer the same question more than once. He can tell you that. But here's the most important question of the first interview. 500 years from now, in the Hip Hop Hall of Fame, you're going to influence the next generation by them going there and pushing a red button, and your hologram's going to come out the wall, and they're going to hear your music. So my question is, how did you make life better because you created hip-hop? What is the legacy you leave behind by making life better because you created hip-hop?
Hope.
Explain.
Well, for me, with my music, I try very hard to show people there's a bright side of things, and they're not the only ones that are going through the torment that they think they're going through. So for me, I want people to look back on my music and see that this guy basically gave them the blueprint of how to think themselves out of depression spiritually, put himself in the right pocket mentally. Also, for them to realize too that he took time in writing and crafting his stuff, and he was also working with some of the dopest MCs in his time.
Right.
I made it better just because I gave people the truth. I gave them inspiration, and then I gave them the stuff that my heart. That I influenced and made things better, and I always give you confidence too. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I see me, making things better, and why people would be listening to my music that far away from now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, gentlemen, hold on, don't hang up yet. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for joining us on the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. May the Most High bless you. And always remember, music not only comes from your heart and your soul, it comes from the ether. So make sure the message that you're listening to is one you agree with. In the words of the great Tupac Shakur, he said, whenever you listen to music and you nod your head, know that you're having an agreement to it. Do you really understand what they're saying? Do you really agree with it? Because the music that you listen to not only feeds your heart, but your imagination. Be one with the sound and be one with the Most High, and you'll never fall off and regret the music and the things that you're sharing. May the Most High bless you all. This is Karev at Heritage Hip Hop saying peace, and we out.
Real hip hop. Real hip hop. We here. Real hip hop. For real. Real hip hop.